Hey, this is Ryan of Happy Healthy Vegan. So, one question I get asked quite often, almost every time I do a live stream is, do I practice intermittent fasting? What do I think of it? I know it's really popular right now. A lot of celebrities are known for getting their shredded bodies, like say The Rock and Hugh Jackman, from intermittent fasting. And it's getting really trendy everywhere. In Silicon Valley, it's the latest rage. They're calling it biohacking there. And Pop Sugar recently published an article about intermittent fasting, IF as they call it. They talked to the host of the Keto for Women show, and she says, yeah, fasting, starving yourself, leaves you feeling energized and clear, level-headed. As for the cons of intermittent fasting, well, they asked a doctor about these side effects of not eating food. And no surprise, some of the symptoms can include increased hunger, cravings, I wonder why, low energy, lightheadedness, nervousness, poor concentration, and trouble sleeping. But when I took a closer look at this doctor's name, I noticed it was Dr. Axe. And no disrespect to the professions here, but he's not a medical doctor. He's a chiropractor and a doctor of natural medicine. And he says some pretty crazy things about eating fruit.
If you're eating a banana by itself, there's no doubt it could affect your blood sugar levels in a small amount, okay? So that is really the negative side of bananas is right there, is if you're a person who's trying to lose weight.
Yes, you heard it here from Dr. Axe. Eating bananas will cause you to become overweight.
Is that it does contain a large amount of sugar and doesn't really have much protein or any healthy fat whatsoever.
Well, that's complete bullcrap. If we're not afraid to eat, like, say, 10 bananas a day, as I eat at least a day because I'm not afraid of getting a healthy dose of potassium, let's take a look here. I'm getting over a quarter of my recommended daily values of protein, which this jerk says there's none of. And he also says there's no healthy fats. Well, let's take a look here. A very nice ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s, and there's also very little saturated fat and no trans fat. So the big question is, does everyone who tries these intermittent fasting diets get these great gains that Dr. Axe and the Keto for Women show talk about? Well, this author from Business Insider tried it for 3 weeks and he didn't feel all that great. Well, remember, all that increased energy and clear-headedness you're supposed to get after you starve yourself for long enough of a time, well, this guy from Business Insider didn't feel any of that. In fact, he felt it was a complete waste of time other than the fact he lost a few pounds. I understand when most people ask me, do I intermittently fast? What do I think of restricting calories? Well, I know most people are trying to lose weight. And I think that's what's going on with all these articles we're seeing in the news and Hugh Jackman. They're just trying to get shredded and thin. Well, that's not a big issue for me. I'm really actually happy with where my body weight's at right now. So a lot of people, well, some people, actually fewer, will tell me it's because of the science. There's studies out there showing that restricting calories, intermittent fasting, can prolong one's life. Well, let's take a look at the science behind that.
Although the beneficial effects of caloric restriction on lifespan and health have been clearly demonstrated, it is difficult to implement such restrictions in our lives. In the classic Minnesota starvation study, many of the volunteers suffered a preoccupation with food, constant hunger, binge eating, lots of emotional, psychological issues. Even researchers who study caloric restriction rarely practice it. There's got to be a better way to suppress the engine of aging enzyme, TOR.
So yes, there is some good science out there showing restricting calories, fasting, actually helps slow down the aging process, but it's extremely difficult, not practical to follow, especially for the long term. What if there's something better you can do than starving yourself?
The breakthrough came when scientists discovered that the benefits of dietary restriction may be coming not from the restriction of calories, but from the restriction of protein intake. If we look at the first comprehensive comparative meta-analysis of dietary restriction, the proportion of protein intake was more important for life extension via dietary restriction than the degree of caloric restriction. In fact, just reducing protein without any changes in calorie level have been shown to have similar effects as caloric restriction.
So this is the information that most fasters have no idea about, is that it's not the caloric restriction that gives these gains as far as longevity and health, it's the protein restriction. And most people are eating way too much protein, especially compared to most vegans. And as you'll see here, not all proteins are equal. Some are way worse for you than others, particularly some that are found mainly in animal products.
One amino acid in particular, leucine, appears to exert the greatest effect on TOR. In fact, just cutting down on leucine may be nearly as effective as cutting down on all protein. So where is leucine found? Predominantly animal foods, eggs, dairy, and meat, including chicken and fish, whereas plant foods have much less, fruits, vegetables, grains, and beans. In general, lower leucine levels are only reached by restriction of animal proteins.
So I personally never intermittently fast. I never restrict calories, never. I thrive on having tons of energy, which comes from eating till you're full, getting plenty of carbohydrates, about 70+% of your calories from carbs. And yeah, I require energy. You guys know I'm pretty active. I play tons of sports. I play basketball, I ride bikes, I run, surf, and my work, making YouTube videos, working on computer code, it involves having lots of energy, lots of thinkings going on, burning through calories. So yeah, intermittent fasting would only slow me down in all those endeavors. You'd see way fewer YouTube videos from us for sure. So yeah, I find no need to intermittently fast. I get everything I need, good body weight, good energy, good everything from high carb, low fat, whole food, vegan diet. That's all you need. Just restrict animal protein. So that's why I don't intermittent fast, and it's based upon personal experience and the science out there. So leave your comments down below. I know this is going to be a lively discussion. A lot of people are very passionate about calorie restricting and intermittent fasting. They think it has all these gains. So show me what's wrong with the science that I showed here. Why do you need more than just animal protein restriction? And tell me what studies this is based upon, because this is the science-based diet that I'm showing here, not some kind of like trendy fad diet or woo-woo diet. It's a science-based diet, as Dr. Greger of NutritionFacts.org likes to call it. So comment down below. Let's be civil. Let's have a very informative discussion. Share this with a friend who's into fasting and calorie restriction, and show them that there's a better way. They just can go vegan and just forget about all that trouble and strife there. So until next time, guys, eat some food and keep it carb, baby. Keep it carb.